Hi everybody, my name is JP and I'm going to show you how I programmed my MIDI keyboard to play Runescape. I just had this vision of a crazy concert pianist like specking people out. I just thought it was so funny. I had to see if it was doable, and it is so doable. It's actually really easy to set up. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to get into the technical stuff about this. If you just want to skip to the gameplay, I don't blame you, and you can find that in the chapters. So this process is exactly the same as the one I used to set up my touchscreen monitor with OpenStage control. We just need a virtual MIDI port. For that, we use loopMIDI. And instead of OpenStage control, we're using Runescape. And instead of a touchscreen monitor, we're using my keyboard. So you see in Cubase, we're going to start with our studio setup and make sure that our digital piano is not activated. That way we don't cause a loop when we're inputting our key commands. So we actually use our digital piano in MIDI key to key. We're going to send it to OSRS, which is being picked up by this guy here, OSRS, and then this sends OSRS2. So actually we also need to deactivate OSRS and activate OSRS2. So now we see everything coming in MIDI key to key. We see everything on the keyboard for our stream, and we can hear everything, which is great. This is where we want to be. Now, the hard part is programming all of the keys. You have to think of every key having two commands. Most keyboards, instead of having note on, note off, here, let me clear this. Note on, velocity 89, note on, velocity 0. So what happens is this will activate whatever key you put on this because it's reading it as a note on. So that's why I make a command for all the note offs so I can have it deactivate the script I'm running. So in Runescape, you only have basically 5 commands, 5 or 6 different things that you do. Left click, right click, move the arrow keys left, right, up, down, and then you move the mouse around, right? So in MIDI key to key, it's easy to do the arrows. Let's look at how we do left. So it says left, but we move the right arrow key because in Runescape it just like turns weird, I guess. The point is, when we press B5 at any velocity, see it's not reacting on the second value there, it's gonna hold the right arrow key until the note off or velocity 0. The other things that we're doing, like the left click, what we actually have to do is use a script. So I use AutoHotKey because MIDI key to key as of this point does not have mouse functions, which is unfortunate. Let's go to mouse and keyboard. We want to do a mouse click. Left click is just click, right click is just click, comma right, which is great. We can reuse these for all of our things. So now what happens is every time we press C4 on velocity 0, that's the off, right? It is going to left click. Now, the reason I did that as opposed to the on is because you will always get a double click. And what we're doing here is when we press C4, nothing happens, but when we lift off C4, we get velocity 0. It's gonna open this left click.ahk and it's gonna run a left click wherever the cursor is. So as long as I'm in Runescape, we should be good to go. And now what I'm planning on doing is deciding which buttons need left and right click. So this is basically the file you get in MIDI key to key. And I'm making my assignments in here. It's just way easier to keep track of. So basically, if I just copied the action here under this, D3 would also do a left click, and we could call it left click. We could save it and then restart it. And then, we'd be programmed and ready to go. Now the hard part is the mouse moves. So let's look at the mouse move left. We're not doing a start program. We're actually doing a script, a key command with wait for note on, because we need to hold it, right? Otherwise you just move the mouse like one little pixel at a time and it's just slow as hell. So I use this, which is still AutoHotKey. And what you have to do is you actually have to run the AutoHotKey script in the background while you're playing. And what'll happen is anytime you're pressing Control-Shift-B, it's going to loop the mouse movement 4 pixels to the left forever. And then if B gets lifted, you'll break out of the loop. Otherwise, you'll be moving the mouse indefinitely, and it's really hard to get out of. For this to work, what you have to do is you have to actually open this script before you start to play. So we're gonna show and explore, run the script. That's how you have to do it. So it's gonna hold down Control-Shift-B while we press A#6, and that's gonna move the mouse 4 pixels to the left. I don't know if this is every millisecond or whatever, but it's fast. So you don't want to go too fast. You want to go too far because otherwise you'll break out of the window. You'll miss everything. You won't be able to click anything. It's really, it takes a while to figure out. But I found that 4 pixels seems to be a good combination of, like, obviously, look how fast the mouse moves when I want it to move fast. I won't be able to get that kind of speed unless I set this to like, 40 or 50. Maybe I'll set a couple keys and that way we'll get more active things. But basically that's how the whole system works. We have one script running in the background for the mouse movements. We have a left click and a right click script, and we have no script for all the arrows. I'm still building a wheel up and wheel down. I need to test this, but basically to zoom in and out on RuneScape, you use the mouse wheel, you scroll in and out. And that's how it works. So I took this to Twitch maybe a little earlier than I was ready. I had not programmed the mouse moves very efficiently. It wasn't easy to do. So this is the best I could do for Tutorial Island. It sounds all right, but it was like really hard to play. All right. Zoom out on that A minor chord and then you zoom back in on that's so dramatic for fucking RuneScape. And then we go back out, but like D minor. I'm dead. This is so dumb. Oh my god. Okay, y'all, thanks for watching. I'll see you later on Twitch when I'm playing RuneScape with my piano. And if you have any questions about how this works, or if you want to see me play other games with my keyboard, just let me know in the comments.